Dungeon tiles.
I challenge you to build peasant-level dungeon tiles. Do it quickly and from cheap, easily available materials.
And what's more readily available than cardboard? I used a method that will give you a good amount of inexpensive, great-looking tiles. Check out my take on the challenge over on my channel, Frankie D. Crafter, after you're done.
Whoa! Time to put my skin on! Hey guys, welcome back to Creatures, Caverns, and Crafting. Today we're going to be crafting some dungeon tiles, but as always, I'm going to put a little spin on it, a little post-apocalyptic, mutant crawl classic spin on this. This is part of the challenge that was initiated by the Bards Craft and Frankie D. Crafter, and what we're going to use today is cardboard, of course. We're going to also use a carpenter square, just make sure everything is nice and straight. Also like to say, guys, big shout out to these two YouTubers. Really enjoy their content. If you haven't already, go ahead and check them out. Now, for those that might be interested, I'm going to measure these off into different sections. These are about 1x4. These are 4x4 pieces. And I'm going to do one large 8x8 piece. Now, you can make all sorts of different sizes. Bards Craft likes to use metric, but hey, I'm going to continue to use standard for this one. We're already going to add some character to our tiles by roughing them up. I'm just taking chunks of it. I'm just going to remove. We don't want to go all the way through the cardboard. We just want to create a nice crevice there so that we can add some details to it. Next, I'm going to take a hot glue gun, and what I'm going to do is just start applying a nice even stream across the back of the tile. We don't want to gob this up, because if we do, it won't sit right on the table. Now this is going to do two things for us. One is going to provide strength from curling, and the second is it's going to prevent it from sliding on the game table. So if you've ever played on a smooth table and had a tile go across, this is going to try to help eliminate that. We're going to let that cool, and now we're going to move on to the front side. As before, we're just going to add a nice stream. Now what we're going for here is just to add some texture. These are going to be gridless tiles, so we want to provide as much attention for the eye to take a look at. So all we're going to do is just break everything up, and to add just a little detail, if you have some beads that come out of the hot glue gun, you can just take those and kind of put them on. This will break it up even more. These could be rocks, they could be eggs, who knows. Just put them on there, waste not, want not. Speaking of waste, one of the stipulations of this challenge was to make it out of easy accessible materials. And here I have some sprue left over, some cut up wire cable, some bits and pieces of granny grating. Here are some popsicle sticks, some mulch from the front yard, some cardstock cuts, and just some cardboard and a little bit of dry kitty litter. Guys, this stuff is literally was in my wastebasket or in my front yard or in a bin just waiting around to be used. Now we're just going to hot glue everything together, and I'm just going to add some of the kitty litter here for flocking. And when you're putting this on, if you tap it, be careful, don't burn yourself. This stuff can be hot, it can seep through. We're going to allow that to cool. Just shake off the excess. So one of the things I like to do is create tiles with minimum effort, and this allows me area to put monsters or furniture on. Let me give you a comparison. Here's another tile I did, and this is more of an obstacle tile compared to the other. And here's a quick look at all the tiles put together. As you can see, I've mixed them up pretty good. And as far as curling, I'm not seeing a whole lot. Now we are going to apply some paint to this. I'm going to prime the tiles using black, and then I'm just going to give a light spray of tan just to highlight everything. Now we're going to move on to our base paint. I'm going to use a bigger brush, and what I'm going to do is use this bark brown, and I'm going to kind of apply this wet. If some of the primer, the tan or the black shines through, that's okay. We just want to get this brown on there. So don't worry about anything. If you get it on the wood pieces or anything else, you can basically just cover the entire project using this. Once our bark brown has dried, we're going to go ahead and move to a nutmeg brown. Basically, we just want to go a little lighter than the brown that we had before. And what I'm doing here is just giving it a nice wet dry brush Just applying it. This is just add a little bit of contrast to the bark brown that we've already applied. So don't be afraid to get that all over the project. Now we're going to move into some lighter. This is a golden brown. This is where we're going to just start picking some spots. I like to hit up the rocks, maybe just a few areas of the textured, the wood pieces. I'm going to add just a bit more detail, and I'm going to apply gray. Now this is going to be a genuine dry brush. We're going to apply this very lightly, and we're just going to put this again on the wood areas and the rock areas like we did before. Now I'm going to move on to using some nickel and some burnt sienna just to pick out my metal pieces. Burnt sienna is going to act as kind of a rust. I'm also going to apply a little bit of this vintage white to the wood and the rock areas. This is just to give a nice subtle look. Next I'm going to apply some green to the base, and this is just to break things up a little bit more. I'm going to use a transparent airbrush green, but you can use any green that you like. I'm also going to apply a nice black wash to this. Black Magic Craft has an excellent recipe. If you want to, check out his channel. If you don't have a black wash, you can also use a Nuln Oil, or you can just experiment maybe using some inks. Now I'm going to apply this pretty generously all over the tile. Don't be afraid to use this in abundance. If you've got good flow, it'll seep into the cracks and the crevices and really make the detail pop. Once our black wash is dried, I'm going to go ahead and start applying some Bards Craft mushrooms. This is basically hot glue and toothpicks. I'm then going to go over and paint them with the transparent green I used earlier. Also going to do the spots in a bright kiwi. Once that's dry, we're going to go ahead and do a dry brush using some orange. And we're also going to go over with some purple. And this just give it that post-apocalyptic wasteland look. Now, I'm not done yet. One other thing I will do is highlight some of the texture using the kiwi. So let's go ahead and check it out. Guys, here's just some shots of the dungeon tiles after they're done. I had a really good time with this. Traditionally, I don't play with a lot of dungeon tiles I used to. I normally use a battle mat or an ultimate dungeon terrain, but this was fun. I really enjoyed this challenge. I hope that you try it yourself. And as always, I'll leave you guys with a nice video for the end. Well, guys, that's about... Excuse me, guys. I don't know what's going on with my voice, but thank you very much for viewing the video today. If you'd like to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe, follow. More importantly, share this with a friend that might like this type of craft. Try the challenge yourself. There's a lot of easy material to use around the house, and you've got nothing but time with this quarantine. I hope that you and your friends and your family stay safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks, guys. Bye.